Hello everybody, we're starting the Pranic process online.
Recording in progress.
We're here in the third meeting and loving this program of 8 days where you get the best of tips and insights on energy upgrade, on how to bring your energy higher, your health, your relationships, your wealth, and your pranic intake, the amount of energy that you bring into your body. So this is what we talk about in this program in general, and today especially we talk about how to channel your divine self. You know, there's so many people now talking about channeling and doing channeling, and so many have asked me if I channel. So my answer is always yes and no, in terms of yes, I do channel. I channel divine energy. I channel the highest expression of energy. I channel my divine self. I do not specifically channel or tune into entities or spirits or beings from other planets specifically. So some are channeling the Pleiadians, some are channeling the Lyrians, some are channeling some other serious beings and so on, or they are channeling Mother Mary or Isis and so on. We are channeling the divinity, the highest divine energy, in whichever expression it wants to come. What is the difference? Well, the difference is I always intend to connect to the highest. I always intend to connect to the divine. I do not search for lower levels of that expression or personified levels of that expression, which means beings from several planetary systems or ascended masters and so on. They have their own view on things. Yes, they have still their personality, their experience, their filter of experience, and they present you the reality through that filter. That's why I prefer the unfiltered reality of divine channeling, or channeling the divine self, or channeling the highest expression of the divine, which is different than channeling as I said, certain beings or certain energies that you want to connect to regularly, but they might only present one version, their version of their reality, and if you tune to that version, you might not tune into the highest. So that's why I prefer the highest energy. And this is what we're going to talk about today: how to channel your divine self, or how to bring forth, if you will, the highest expression of you. Divinity is expressing through you, and you can bring through the highest expression of you, the best version of you, which is the version of you that is connected to the divine. This is what we talk about today, and I wanted to mention the difference between these two aspects because so people are confused now about channeling and how it's done and if it's worth trying and so on, and just presenting my own perspective, I thought it could be useful. How many of you are interested in this topic? Just let me know in the comments if I nailed it today, and if it's something you want to hear about. You can type yes in the comments. You can also type your city or countries just to know where you come from. And if you have questions, of course, or comments on what I'm talking about, you can just write them there and they will be replied. I'm going to be online on my channels, YouTube, YouTube, but Facebook and Instagram. We're going to be live for a few minutes presenting the topic and some ideas on it, on how to channel the highest version of you and how to stay connected and receive clear guidance. But then I'm going to be only live with my participants because we are in a program of 8 days that you can access. The link is in the description of the video if you're on Facebook, and it's in the bio in my link tree in Instagram. It's called Pranic Process Online. This program of 8 days allows you to connect to the best meditations on the planet, the highest energy, the energy upgrade codes or light codes that are coming through in this time. We are right before the Taurus eclipse, and we are also preparing for the 11/11 portals, or there are powerful energies coming through. And there's powerful energies coming through anyway, because the planet is in a very high accelerated evolution. We're just here to help with that and to bring the tools and tips that you might need to navigate this in an easier way. Today we also work with the I'm gonna use this bowl to shift the energy a little bit and bring some new energies and clear and enhance the third eye of our participants in this webinar. If you want to be with us till the end, again, there's a link that I'm going to also place in comments in our Instagram, in our Facebook channel, and you'll have it in bio on Instagram, as I said. Yes, so as we were saying, today we talk about how to receive the best guidance from your higher self, and how to also make the difference between the possible guidances you might connect to, because there's so many things that people tune into these days, and especially if you meditate, there's high chance that many beings want to connect with you. And I don't just mean beings in the physical plane, but there are also beings in a non-physical plane that want to connect with you when you meditate. And the beginner meditators are always sometimes confused, because they become extra sensitive and they become really empathic, and sometimes they cannot tell the difference between the voice of their own heart, or the voice of their own guidance, and the guidance they receive from various, like I said, entities, energies, and even spirits. I want to ask, as always, I ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically in this meditation, in this webinar with us now. So I ask that we are clearly connecting to the best beings that we can. So I filter this communication at the beginning of every webinar and meditation. And this is the first step when you want to tune in to the best energies or channel the best energy there is, just to filter the possibilities of what types of beings can connect with you. So you declare clearly what you want to connect to. And this declaration, this statement, this request is dialing into, is like setting a frequency and dialing into that frequency in the best, most possible way. I placed a link on Facebook for your possible joining in, so you have that link for the Pranic process online over there. Dialing in that specific frequency helps you receive the best energy, so that you aren't confused by other beings that might, or spirits even, that want to tune in and connect with you, so that you aren't confused by the voice of your own mind, so that you aren't confused by entities that are trying to pull on your energy, and so on. When people are starting to tune into the astral realm, through meditation or other techniques or even plant-based medicine, and that must be said, there's high chance that they are contacted not only by beneficial beings but by a high realm of beings that some are not the most well intended. To know the difference between them and to be able to select and clearly tune into the highest energy is a mastery when you start working spiritually. So that's an important thing to start with, clear intention, clear setting, clear request. I ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can connect energetically and telepathically with me now, the most beneficial beings of the purest light and love. So that's what streams through, that's what I receive guidance from, and that's what can get in touch with me. The rest are just either moving away, and I see them sometimes just moving away from a space or a gathering or a place that I visit, or they just don't have the permission to connect with me. So that's the first step in channeling. The second and more important step is to keep a high vibration. The law of resonance, or the law of attraction, how people call it, states that you attracts like. Whatever you are, you attract. So when you want to connect to the highest energy, you have to upgrade your energy yourself, because it's really difficult to be in a really low energy and try to connect high to the highest. It's just too much of a jump, right? So try to enhance and upgrade your energy, or at least clear your mind and still your mind when trying to connect to the divine, right? That's why meditation has been used for thousands of years. It helps you listen to divine. It helps you clear your mind so that you cannot be distracted by it, and it helps you connect. We always say that prayer is your way of talking to the divine, or to whatever you want to connect to, and meditation is when you listen to what it has to say to you. Because if you keep talking and don't ever stop to listen the guidance that you are to receive, how will you receive the benefits or the help that you are requesting? Yes, you need to stop and listen if you want to receive. And being in a receptive, open mode while clearing your mind so that it doesn't interfere with the divine communication is the next step, and very important as well. So when you need a response, an answer to something, when you need something new to come, some new idea to come into your life or anything like this, first step is to get your mind as silent and as peaceful as possible so that you can receive that guidance. And I'll give you a simple example, a day-to-day example, because not always we want to channel the solution to the end of the words or something. Sometimes I was just looking for something inside my house, I was looking for an object inside my house, and because I had many bags unpacked from various travels and it wasn't really neat, I couldn't find that object. I remembered I had it in my hand a few days ago. I found it somewhere a few days ago, but I couldn't find it in the place where I usually put it. So I was trying to find it, and first I looked in the places where it could have been, and then I decided to just stop looking and still my mind. So I did that. I did some sun gazing. I stopped looking. I did some sun gazing. I did some other things, and then I asked myself, where could I have put my object? And my divine self started answering. Well, sometimes you put it in the pocket of your robe, sometimes It was in the pocket of my robe, directly there. I found it, and the first time I asked, I immediately received the answer. So sometimes you don't need to like channel big things and important solutions. Sometimes you just need a simple answer for a simple thing that's bothering you, or you just need the answer to it, right? And clearing your mind makes it possible that you receive the guidance, the answer, the clear clarity on what you need to hear. The most important inventors on this planet, the geniuses on this planet, were receiving those genius ideas thanks to their ability to clear their minds. You know, when their mind was unclear, they weren't able to find solutions to either their equations or whatever they needed to download. So many of them had techniques of clearing their minds, techniques of meditation that would help them channel the right information, the right solution for their inventions, for their research or whatever they were doing. So I know one of them was having a room without light where he was going and sitting there to clear his mind. And then while sitting there, ideas would come to him and he would create genius projects. Others had a way of breathing. Others had a way of, for example, Tesla was first imagining the inventions that he created. He was imagining them in his mind to the minutest detail. And he would also imagine or envision whatever could go wrong with that invention, whatever needs to be fixed, whatever needs to be upgraded. So when he brought it into being, when he materialized it, when he put the pieces together to create that object or that machinery, it would go perfect, because in his mind he had already foreseen all the possible errors and corrected them. So when he brings into physical that invention, it's already created to perfection. That requires a mind clarity that is, the one of a very focused person, in order to be able to focus on every detail, to imagine and correct every detail and create the perfect invention that needs to be brought into the world. Well, any of your projects can be like that invention of Nikola Tesla. It can be brought to perfection before being brought into being, so that when you bring it into being, you have the perfect creation. And you might ask me, who has the time, to focus? But I'm asking you, who can afford not to focus? Actually, that's the biggest question, because when you're not focused, you're not doing you're not doing things right. There's a lot of errors to correct. There's more time to lose. Everything takes way more than it would usually take if you were focused. And the speed of a project being completed is much lower than it would be if you would be focused. So I'll give you an example. At the beginning of my spiritual journey, well, it was really in the middle of it, because I began my spiritual journey as a child, and then when I was an adult, around 28 or 27, 28, I started meditating again. And I was working in corporate business, and everybody says, I'm in corporate, I don't have time to meditate. Well, I'll tell you why you have more time to meditate when you are busiest. You need more time to meditate when you are busiest, because I was working 8 to 8 sometimes, almost 12 hours a day, or at least 12 hours a day. So getting things done would take a lot of time. But when I started waking up half an hour earlier, so instead of 7, I would wake up at 6:30, and 30 minutes I would give to my meditation, my mind at the end of the meditation was so much clearer that I would get my tasks done so much faster than before. So my work hours have been diminished, and I had more time to either focus on new projects or focus on myself, which is what I actually did. You know, I had enough projects, so I started focusing on myself. So having a clear mind and channeling the best solutions, you know, because when you channel the divine energy, the highest divine energy, you channel the best solutions, allowed me to have more time for myself and to have more time for my spiritual practice. So the more you practice, the more you do your spiritual practice, the more you have time, actually, because time is not a thing that exists per se. It is a creation of the mind, and it is very much related to the mind. So the stiller the mind is, the more time you have, right? 2 minutes can seem like forever, you know, when your mind is still, and they can seem like a second when your mind is agitated. That's why you can't get things done when your mind is agitated. So heading back to the focus question, can you afford not to focus? Do you have enough time so that you can afford not to focus? I think you don't, right? Because when you focus, you actually gain time, you make time, you create time, right? It's so focus and mind clarity and time are very related to each other. So back to the how to channel your divine self. When you start focusing and start clearing your mind, you start channeling the highest energy, and having the answers coming from there, having your solutions coming from there, your energy is coming from there. Everything that you do is connected to the divine. So you're no longer an individual doing individual things like a persona, but you are streaming divine energy through your thoughts, your actions, your speech, and everything, and that's what you become. You are becoming a source for divine energy, and that's the pranic state. Actually, that's the state that we were talking about in our other videos as well. I was saying many times that doesn't necessarily have to do with how much you eat, even though it's way better if you eat less or liquid, because then your body is lighter. But it has mostly and mainly to do with your state of consciousness, your ability to focus and channel the highest energy possible. So that's why, again, I don't specifically connect to certain beings in order to channel their energies, but I always aim and intend and focus on channeling the divine energy instead. Right? So far I'm going to recap the 4 steps that I talked about that help with the enhancing of the quality of your channeling, of the energy you connect to. And then I'm going to invite you to join this whole program or the webinar of today at the link that is posted in the description of the video and in the comments on Facebook and in bio on Instagram, called the Pranic Process Online. So the 4 steps, as I said, are: first, intention. As I said, I intend and declare that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us in a webinar, workshop, or meditation. So once you declare and intend that, you have clear connection to what you requested, you filter out the other influences, you know, because as I said, some channel the Pleiadians, some channel Sirius beings, some channel Lyrians, some channel Arcturians, and so on and so forth. But they are interstellar beings that have their own limited perspective on reality. It's higher than the one of the Earthlings because, of course, they see it from a higher perspective. Their civilization is more advanced and so on, but it's still limited to the amount of experience and expertise and divine connection that they have, you know, and it's filtered through their consciousness. So when you channel such beings, you are connected to a wider consciousness, but that's still not unlimited. It's basically limited to their own experience and filter. That's why when you go even beyond that and you connect to the highest and the divine, that's where you get unlimited perspective, unfiltered information, clear knowledge on what's possible, and clear guidance from the highest perspective. It's accessing divine knowledge, clear connaissance from your crown and beyond. So that's the guidance that I request, allow, and transmission. And that's what I like to connect to. And if in that process, beings like Mother Mary or the Christ or anyone want to stream through, they are welcome to stream through as long as it's the purest perspective. And when they do, I am aware that they do, first and foremost. And secondly, I know that this type of guidance is probably the level of energy or the level of consciousness that some of my viewers or some of the people listening are able to connect to. So maybe they don't need the highest perspective, but they need the level of perspective that comes for them in that specific situation, that might come from Mother Mary and her experience, or might come from, Mary Magdalene or Isis and their experience. And that's okay as long as it's a clear, harmonious, non-aggressive perspective. And I allow it to happen as long as it's something that my client or the ones that watch are needing it. For me, I prefer always the highest guidance, because everything else, like I said, comes with the personal filter of the entity or being that is offering that guidance. So step number 1 was asking for the highest guidance. Step number 2 is raising your frequency, because like attract like. And when you have a low frequency, you can't connect to the highest guidance. You have to raise your frequency a little bit, either through prayer or through meditation or through going out in nature or through clearing with light or taking a shower or, a salt bath to purify your energy or smudging. There are ways of preparing for receiving guidance. And we talk about these ways of upgrading your energy all the way through this class. But always at the beginning of a meditation or a session or guided session of whatever, worship, whatever it is, I clear my field. My field can be clear, but I want it to be clearest when I do work and when I connect, and always I ask for a column of light, which is like an energy filter, but also energy protection, a column of light from the center of the universe to center of the earth that filters the energy and also clears my field. I ask for the beings of the purest light and love to be able to connect with me, and only the beings of the purest light and love. And I ground my energy as well. So connecting to the Mama Love in the center of Gaia is also important, to stay grounded when you download these energies, right? Because they need to stream through your body all the way down, and they need grounded for you to have mind clarity and mind focus, right? So that's the second step, clearing your energy and upgrading your energy, because like attracts like. You want to attract the highest energy, you want to upgrade your own energy as a first. Third is clearing your mind. As I said, with meditation or breath work, clear your mind, make sure it doesn't interfere in the communication. When you want to receive guidance, when you want to ask for help, when you want to get answers to whatever it is that you're seeking for, either if you're looking for an object in your home or just wanting to get the guidance for a project or anything else, you want to clear your mind, otherwise you aren't able to hear. And as I said, the greatest geniuses on this planet, they had clear methods of clearing their minds, when they invented something. And fourth, but not least, is the ability to focus. When you are unfocused and subsequently ungrounded, you cannot get clear answers, you cannot get clear guidance, and sometimes if you're not grounded, you're subjected to the energies of other beings that aren't really beneficial, right? Because they are allowed somehow to enter your field, they are allowed somehow to connect with you. Your guards can be down if you're not grounded, your field is not strong enough, and that's when you get vulnerable to influences that might not be the highest, right? Grounding is important, is crucial for channeling the highest energy, because if you look at a tree, the more their branches need to grow towards the sky, the more their roots needs to be implanted into the earth, right? You've never seen a tree with a large crown having roots small like this. The more your roots grow deeper into the earth, into, grounding in this planet, and accepting your being on this planet, your presence on this planet, the higher you can connect and maintain that connection. It's not interrupted or hindered by your lack of focus or by your lack of energy. And actually, from my experience, I've been growing and growing and growing in my spiritual evolution, and it's an ongoing process. But sometimes when I hit a certain plateau and not evolving from there, it was because I didn't ground enough, right? So when I needed to jumpstart my evolution even higher, if you will, I needed to ground more in order to expand my crown even higher. So that's an experience that I always try to remember and play in my life. So when I feel that life is stagnant or is the evolution in my spiritual ascension is stagnant, I know that in order to expand or ascend, you need to always ground into the physical even stronger. So that's a lesson that many spiritual workers overlook, and they try to channel the highest energy, but they don't accept, either being here or having certain tasks on this planet, or certain experiences that they go through, and so on, and that's making them unground and stay mostly from the higher up part of their bodies. So these are the 4 steps. Let me know if you have questions. I'm completing the webinar here on our channels of Insta and Facebook. Thanks for watching. If there's any questions, I'm ready to answer for the next maybe 5 minutes. Then I'm going with our participants on our Zoom meeting, and if you want to be in it, say yes in the comments. We'll include you in the Zoom meeting. It also contains a meditation with the bowls of sound, and at the end you receive also the videos for lifetime access. You can either join the webinar of today or the whole program of 8 days. There's a payment involved because I like healthy energy exchanges on this planet, and it's part of the grounding. And you can make that energy exchange after this webinar. It's no problem. You just type yes if you want to be in this full class, and then we include you for either 1 day or 8 days. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your questions if you have any. Hi Loredana, Doina, Carlos, Maya, and everyone joining in. Thank you for your comments. You are awesome too. So channeling the highest energy, channeling the divine, that's the topic and the meditation that we're going to have today. Thank you very much for being here. Join us in Pranic Process Online. And Instagram, you don't have it in the comments. I forgot to say it's in bio. So you go in our link tree and see it there. The link to our class. Much love to all. Thank you as well.